Mr. Obeng, good morning and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Wilson.
Hope you're doing very well. Now, let's get to
by God's grace,
your discussions yesterday with the committee in Parliament. We're told that the regulations are now set to be laid, but listening to you, you don't seem excited. You say we might as well totally ban the importation. What's the problem?
Yeah, what we are saying is that under the trade liberalization that we are enjoying across the globe, there shouldn't be any restriction of our trading. If we want to enhance our local productivity, we are all for it. We do everything to support. But the fact that issuance of permits have been a problem in the past, and they did not give any solution, we are not going to be restricted by issuance of permits any longer. And we don't have even any good reference with it, because as I'm speaking, there's still restriction on poultry products. But what do we have to see? We don't have anything to show that this is the good reference we are showing. We still have a shortfall of about 90% of the consumption, the demand of the demand. And so what do we have to show? And then when it comes, it is also subjected to abuses. And then even the lack to control the protected industry from abuse of monopoly. Those are all not spelled out in the LI. So it means that, and then there's also no data. It is not backed by data. When you say that you are restricting import, what you are saying is that we are telling you to reduce the import that you do and look from within what we produce and buy from it. And we haven't done anything to show us that we can be able to get that shortfall from within. And that's what we are talking about, that you cannot do the restriction in isolation. You have to do it side by side with your programs and measures, the timelines that will show that you are serious, that you are showing up the local production, so that we will be able to continue with our businesses. But you do not put the restriction ahead of the measures that we do to boost production. And that is never done anywhere. We'll be the last people to impede on this otherwise fruitful policy, because we travel across the globe and we know that countries that have developed have industrialized and added value.
Okay, so when you met the committee,
they did it with seriousness.
Yes, Dr. Obeng, when you met the committee, did you put these concerns before the committee, and what was the committee's response?
Yeah, what we have said, we have made it clear that we won't sit down for any permit. We will sit down for any permit, because rather than you have to go and then go ahead and ban the product. Because how on earth should we go with all the frustrations that goes with it? That a simple import that we are doing, we have to go under and then queue, and then the timelines. You know, trade facilitation. This one impedes on trade facilitation. And so we've made it clear that we are unable to subject ourselves to issuance of permit for the purposes of trading, and we made it so clear to the committee.
So how are you going
and
to
then
import?
We let them know why we are saying that, and that we have been there before, and the problem that we went through, and then it did not also provide any solution for the nation. So we have to adopt other strategies rather than this one. Nigeria, yes, Nigeria closed their borders, and then were able to control this. But Nigeria was holding on to something. They were about 80% capacity of production of rice. And means that when they held the bull by the horn, they were able to do it. We do not have anything to show We do not have the figures. We do not, in the case of sugar, we have not even produced 1 gram, and it is there. And so what do we have? What are we holding on for us to be restricted from doing our legitimate businesses? And so we've made our point clear that we are unable to subject ourselves to.
So you're not going to engage in these imports? Is that what you're saying? You're not going to import them?
No, what we are saying is that we don't have that. What we are doing is not backed by data.
Yes,
I've already told you that when they say that they are restricting us from importation, all that they are telling us is that we should look from within and buy the goods from here. And when we look, those goods that have been itemized, we don't know what the capacity of production here. We don't have any figures where to fall on. And so what are we saying? And we haven't shown us the measures that will put us there, that will take us there. And that means that they are only happy to restrict us for restricting sake. It does not make sense. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If you are telling me not to import, then it means that I will be able to get the product. But you know, the goods that is produced here in Ghana, we buy all and sell to the final consumer. The producers or the manufacturers, the farmers, they do not sell their goods themselves. We serve as the vehicle to sell, and then we bring the shortfall. Now you said that I'm unable to bring the shortfall of demand, and that I have to look from within and buy. And yet you haven't given me the data. You haven't given me any proof that I'll be able to get from within, especially when we have we have a reference of what has happened in the past, where issuance of permits were given to those in the agriculture, poultry industry. They had to subject them to that, and yet they were not able to increase production. So is it that we are just restricting for restricting sake, where to just harass businesses and that of consumers alike? No. So that's the reason why we are objecting this. If anything should be done, it should be done well, and then we can prefer the necessary solutions for all of us to succeed, because we know best practices elsewhere in the world, because we travel. And so when we sit down, we can prefer solutions that will amaze them, and that will help us increase our production and allow us to patronize the goods that is made here. Some goods are naturally attracting the locals. If you look at biscuit, now people do not import more biscuits because the local manufacturing entities have adopted pragmatic way, efficient ways of production. Okay. And naturally, because they are competitive, the locals cannot travel and buy. It's natural. If you're able to produce at a competitive price, quality is okay and all that. These are the areas that we have to look and make sure that local industries are thriving.
Joseph Obeng, my question to you, my question to you is, you say you are not prepared to go for permits. Would you continue with imports? If you don't get the permits, it means you cannot import. So in that case, do you want to get out of business?
No, we are not going to allow that restriction. I hope you understand.
You would not allow it?
It shouldn't be said that
how are you going to prevent it?
Under trade liberalization, I'm being restricted. I have to go and queue for permit before I can trade. And especially when that is not the solution. If it is the solution, then we are being nuisance. Then you can say that the importing community. But in this case, we are giving a better service. And then whatever is being suggested, because we do not have good reference for what has happened in the past, the abuses of this permit issuance and all that, and that's what I'm referring. It's not that I don't want us to industrialize and then shore up our local production so that we consume locally. There are two different things that I'm talking about. And so they have to find a way to make local production very attractive, very cost effective, and then they can be competitive. Because one thing that you people haven't observed is that all that they are trying to do is that our local manufacturers can only sell to Ghanaians, and that they are not capable even to selling to Togo. Because when we are tying my hand behind, you cannot go and tie the people of Togo's hand behind. You cannot go and tie Burkina Faso, because they will buy goods that are competitive to them.
Okay.
They will buy goods that are quality. So why are you not making sure that our local industries are competitive so that they can export?
So you are saying that
you are not bringing a policy that our local manufacturers can...
Hold on. Let me just get this clarification. So you say you will not allow this to happen. Now, if the LI is passed, what are you going to do to prevent it from happening?
Production entities, manufacturing entities, very competitive by way of creating the necessary environment for them. And then we can also adopt necessary efficient methods of production that will increase production, and that will be self-sufficient, so that we will not even have the need of traveling outside to go and buy any goods.
So I'm asking you that if the LI is passed, now that it will be laid, if it's passed after 21 sitting days, what are you going to do to prevent it from taking effect, since you say you will not allow it?
Yeah, but that's why we are talking, because the laws are not... we do not pass laws out of emptiness.
But they say they are going to lay it.
No, we are laying what?
You need two-thirds.
That's why we talk to the members of parliament.
But they're going ahead to lay it.
We are Ghanaians. The laws are made for Ghanaians. And we have made our input at parliament. They should also understand our frustration. They have to do what they call opportunity cost. If we say that we are protecting just 1-2 companies, at what detriment? At the detriment of many companies that are going to suffer the fate of it. Are we even going to achieve any results? We are not doing this out of emptiness. We are doing it on purpose. And so they have to listen to what we are also saying and make a prudent decision, rather than imposing anything on us. In any case, that's why we have said, if they think we have the capacity to produce, then they should go ahead and ban the product. And copy Nigeria. Nigeria banned the product. So why are they not doing the same? If they know that we have the capacity. Well, we don't have any capacity. There's no data to show any otherwise. And so what are we doing? If you tell me to restrict import, that I do. That's the business I do. So I have to be able to be given the comfort and then the assurance that when you stop buying from abroad, you are going to get from within Ghana and buy. I'm not getting it. And you have not been able to prove to me that when I stop you, you'll be able to buy from me. And we say that don't do this in emptiness. Don't do it in abstract form. But let's do it hand by hand, where we are trying to boost the local production, and then the timelines, the roadmaps, and all that. It should be scientifically done so that we can achieve results. And that is not that we are just interested in restricting for restricting sake, where where it won't bring any result for all of us. Is that what we want to achieve?
Thank you very much, Joseph Obeng, who is President, Ghana Union of Traders Association.